horrible. But Togo, Ghana, Chad, and I think Sierra Leone
Sierra Leone.
are somewhere close to us.
You're not near Ethiopia, are you?
Ethiopia is more so east, if I'm not mistaken, towards the Horn of Africa and Ivory Coast.
Okay. Wow, that
But
is.
my geography, like my geography,
Yeah, I'm not a good
my
geography
geography is
person.
horrible.
So do okay. So you said what was the language you guys speak?
Yoruba is the one that I grew up speaking, but the main three are Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa.
Can you understand? Okay, for example, like I speak Spanish, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can understand almost any Spanish. Some of them it's a little hard, but like 90% of it's the same.
Right.
But like, for example, I have a friend from the Philippines, and what he was telling me, the dialects of the Philippines are so different. This dialect of Philippines cannot understand this dialect. Is it like that?
In some subcultures, and like Yoruba now.
Okay.
If you spoke Yoruba, you would probably be able to understand almost anyone else.
Okay.
But you could still find yourself in a remote village where someone is speaking a dialect that's like, whoa.
Really?
They're pronouncing their S's differently.
But it's not like a different language where you're like, I don't know what you're talking
It
about.
wouldn't be an entirely different language, but it would be hard to make it conversational.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so interesting. Do people marry young in
Generally, no.
No?
No, like I said, like most people literally live until like they're in their 30s with
Okay.
their parents and then marry.
Are families
Like,
real big?
families, yes.
Okay, lots of
Generally,
kids.
like a lot of unions, a lot of kids. Like my dad is one of like seven.
7 or 8? Yep.
My
Okay.
mom is one of 5.
Okay.
And I think she may have had 2 siblings that passed when she was younger.
Okay.
But like families are generally pretty large. Like again, this idea of contraception is like, what is that? It's about marriage and wife and kids.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure like these.
Right.
Yeah. You know, it's so interesting because like here in America, everything's so expensive. Like to have 5 kids in California, like unless you're making like a meal, don't do it. Just because it's so expensive here. It's so overpriced.
America has its like advantages and setbacks, and they're very unique to America.
Like
Like,
so interesting.
But for the age thing, like I don't think I've seen a friend of mine, like my friends that I still have in Nigeria, like maybe few of them are now married in their 30s.
Okay.
I don't think I know someone who like got married when they were in their 20s even. Like that's rare.
So here in California, for example, people here usually wait till mid-30s to get married. I'd say
Some people do like in Texas, like
Texas, they're marrying young.
Texas, you have people
Yeah,
out
20
like high school
Yeah,
sweethearts
yeah.
type shit.
Yeah.
California, maybe it's a little bit.
Yeah. When I went to Tennessee and Texas, it was like, dude, people are married by like, I met 2 ladies from Texas recently. They're like 24, and they're like, oh, we should be married with 3 kids. I'm like, you're only 24 years old. Like,
They think like life is about to die or something. They don't even understand that like your brain hadn't fully developed yet, bro.
yeah, at that age, like you don't even really kind of comprehend.
You're
stuff,
about to be a completely different person.
which
and
is the scary part, right? Like at 18 and you at 25, those are 2 different people.
And you at 30 is like completely different person sometimes. And
Yeah.
then you'll be like, why is my marriage failing? Why don't I understand? Why don't you love me the same way? It's like you were completely different people.
Yeah.
Like years ago. Completely different.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting perspective, man. So that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna have to probably. What color is your guys' flag?
Green, white, green.
Green, white, green. Green, white, green. And
It's generally left, so vertically, green, white, green.
do you in the other languages? Do you guys use English letters, or
Yeah.
is it totally like?
It's not symbolic or like when I was in Nepal, like it's what is the Sanskrit?
Okay.
Like it's not like that. Like
Okay.
we now use basically like romanized letters to basically like spell stuff out.
Got it. And now let's see. Another cool thing I want to know about your country is: do you guys? I'm trying to think here. What's a popular sport?
Soccer.
Soccer.
Soccer's king.
Soccer's king.
Like everyone grows up playing soccer on some level on the streets, in the backyard, in the compound. Soccer's king.
You know, it's funny. I did a video about like the world's biggest sport, and I thought it was cricket, but I'm starting to think it's soccer.
You seen how much soccer players make?
Yeah.
They damn near paid Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo like hundreds of millions. Like I don't know what the context.
I don't know why my parents didn't get me on soccer. I was like, because basketball, I played it, but I was like, I'm about 6 feet, 190. Like I was never gonna make it anywhere with that. But like I could have did something with soccer. I like they had me playing the wrong sport.
Soccer is like, yeah, people love soccer. Everyone watches soccer. The Nigerian Super Eagles is who we like are.
Okay.
We generally do fairly well in like the Nigerian Cups or the European Cups, and
Sure.
we generally usually qualify for the World Cup.
Really?
So like the Nigerian team of Super Eagles is a pretty good soccer team.
What do people do for work typically in Lagos? So, like, what's a very like here in California, right? There's a lot of tech and a lot of people. Is there something like a predominant?
I would say retail.
Retail.
Like, because like so many people have something that you can create and sell, basically.
Okay.
Or like generally, you could also be working for like an insurance company, just working in an office somewhere.
Okay.
It could be anything of the sort. There's Nollywood, which is like its own.
Nollywood?
Film. Basically, like, you know how there's Hollywood, there's Bollywood.
Right.
For
You
like
guys have
India.
Nollywood?
There's Nollywood for Nigeria.
Really? So it's
there's
like a replica of Hollywood?
They I don't know why they don't just go by something else. They just change the first letter and call it that.
Nollywood?
Like, yeah, Nollywood is like, you can look it up. Nollywood.
Really? I'm kinda-
Nolly wood.
And it's like a knockoff Hollywood, I guess?
Basically, but it's like its own film industry and like things and production companies and studios and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It's a bit. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It's a
literally
big thing.
Nollywood. Like, and the films are getting better. The
Okay.
films are getting way better. When I was a kid, oh my God, Rom.
And they were bad.
Rom, you've never seen special effects so horrible in your life.
I've seen some Indian films and they're pretty bad.
Okay.
They're pretty bad.
You have some reference. Okay.
Yeah, well, this
okay.
guy's fighting a tiger.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait,
you've
no,
seen.
dude. It's just so,
You've
it's
seen.
so ridiculous.
You know. You've seen. Nigeria is like that, and like that's what a lot of the movies I grew up watching was.
Okay.
But my dad would also get us like, you know, DVDs. So I saw like Home Alone. I saw Sister Act. Those are some of like my favorite movies growing up.
Are a lot of American film shares popular there? Like,
Oh, yeah.
like our Avengers and.
Oh, like I like the Avengers and stuff. Probably like the big stuff that breaks through here will break through in Nigeria and anywhere else across the
Okay.
world.
Really?
And then you have like your small niche films that are like, of course, cult classics and favorites and stuff like that.
Oh man! All right, so if someone was to visit Lagos, where would you tell them to go?
Ooh,
Let's say you go to 3 places. Where would you say to go?
if you're in Lagos, I would say at least one, go to Lagos Island,
Lagos Island.
which like Lagos is like a mainland and then a little slice of an island.
Okay.
There's like a set of like 2 or 3 bridges that connect those all the way.
Okay.
And on the island, you can kind of get to see like skyscrapers. Like,
Really?
When I grew up, even though it's a city, it's like a city more so built
Wow.
outwards than it is upwards. But if you go to Lagos Island, because it's that smaller square space of land, it's all built upwards. So the first place I ever saw skyscrapers was when I would go and visit my grandma who lived on Lagos Island. Outside of that, well, as a 14-year-old, there wasn't really much that I was going out to do. I was basically already here.
Okay.
But okay, Badagry. Badagry is like a place that I think has like a lot of historical like points to it. It's probably close enough to Lagos Island.
Okay.
But around Badagry, I believe you have like the giant like National Theater, which is like a nice like, of course, like aesthetic thing.
Okay.
You can probably visit a few museums that are in that area and see like the connects of the transatlantic slave trade.
Okay.
Like we went on a school trip to like go see the chains that people were held in and
Oh,
docks
wow.
and stuff type shit.
Wow.
So it was taught there too as well.
What's the weather like there? Do you have seasons?
We have like dry season and wet season. Those
Okay.
are like the main dividers. And then we have this season called Harmattan, which is
Harmattan?
where it's cold, dry, and dusty. It's like
Harmattan? That's the name of it?
Harmattan.
Never heard of
Like in Nigerian accent, you say Harmattan.
that. Harmattan? So it's cold, dry, and
It's
dusty?
cold, dry, and dusty. I don't know what it is about the combination of, well, the coldness comes from the tilt of the earth,
Okay.
basically now being on a different side of the sun, right?
Okay.
The dustiness, I'm not sure where that comes from and if that's like more so a land thing, but yeah, it just gets cold, dry, and dusty. And a lot of the wet season is more so in the earlier part of the year, and a lot of like dry season is the later part of the year.
Oh, man.
Our summers are hot and humid.
Hot and humid?
Humid and
So, like, here we have dry heat in California, but yours
Right.
is a humid.
humid, just like Texas. Texas is also another like humid heat place.
Oh, man.
And if you look at Texas on the equator where it is, you can probably kind of draw a line, and Nigeria is not too far off of that equator.
Really? Okay, so the weather's similar to Texas then?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, Texas heat is... I went out there one time and I was just like,
a
I
different
got to
beast.
get out of here. Dude. I was just drenched. And I
Yeah.
was just like,
Were
here
you
we
in
have dry
Houston?
heat. But I was in Texas and I was like, no, I don't want to be
Were you
here.
in Houston or Dallas?
I was next to Dallas.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
If you're in Houston, you're just...
Really? It's just humid?
Houston is like right there by the water too. So like
Okay.
you can shower, get out, and you're just drenched.
Do you get a lot of mosquitoes out there?
In Nigeria, yes.
Okay.
In Texas, different kinds of flies.
Yeah, there's a lot of flies out there.
But not so much like mosquitoes.
Okay,
Right.
cool. All right, well, hey man, thank you so much for sharing all this fun stuff.
Anytime, dude.
This was